Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon Go vlog. This is my 8-week update. I cannot believe that it's been 56 days of playing this game. I'm going to talk a little bit about the news of the past week, some tips and resources for you, the player, my story, kind of where I've been focusing my catching, and my progress in terms of level, badges, Pokemon, etc. And we'll do some shout outs at the end of this video as well. First off, in the news, there has been some word from Niantic on further bans of players that were caught hacking. This tends to be in two primary camps. One is folks who are using cheats to kind of control gyms. And as you can imagine, that has the most direct impact on Niantic in terms of the longer you hold a gym and the more gyms you hold, the more in-game coins you can get for the Defender bonus. And those in-game coins translate directly into dollars for in-app purchases. So you can see that Niantic wants to take care of those. But it has also, I think, made the gyms a bit easier, or I guess I should say has gotten rid of the super hard, unbeatable gyms and has made them more accessible to kids and players with lower level Pokemon. So that's a good thing. I think they have also been doing some banning for people that are using apps and websites to find Pokemon locations, since the in-game tracking is not very good. A lot of people are doing neighborhood scans and then going out and finding those specific Pokemon. This one, I assume, will continue to happen in the game until there's a better tracker in the game. But in any case, if you are tempted to use one of these for whatever reason, I would recommend not using anything that you have to use a user ID or password. And if you're going to use one that is sort of driven by player reportings, that is not against the terms of service. Not much else in the way of news. I was kind of hoping for some small update today, but I'm going to guess we're going to get one next week, and they're going to fall into an every 2-week rhythm. We'll see. Last bit of news is not from Niantic, but from players who have been data mining the latest patch that we got last week. And if you haven't already known about this, they've uncovered some really cool things. One of them is some references to different types of incense, like spicy, floral, and smooth, which people are speculating will allow you to more easily catch certain types of Pokemon with incense, or I should say attract certain types of Pokemon. I think that's a really cool idea. They also mined a lot of data on the buddy system, which sounds like you're going to be able to select one of your Pokemon to follow you around on the map screen, and it will either be flying, walking behind you, or sitting on your shoulder, which I think that's going to lead to some really fun experiences. And they mined some data about trading, which we knew was coming, and about a separate set of commands in the game for legendary catch. So there's some speculation on why there would need to be separate code for legendary catch versus normal Pokemon catch. We will have to see how that shakes out, but those two features, trading and legendaries, hopefully coming soon, and hopefully that means we're going to see the legendary birds fairly soon. Alright, so from tips and resources, I've actually have a exclusive Nest report in this video that I did not do a separate video on. And that is, I was able to find a really strong Onyx Nest down in Batavia, Illinois at a place called McCullough Park. I literally pulled into the parking lot and had 2 Onix on my radar. One of them right there in the parking lot, so I caught him. And since there's no evolution of Onix right now, there wasn't much reason to explore the park. So I left, but seems like a pretty strong nest to me. That is a Pokemon that was on my watch list for several weeks, so I was super happy to find him again. I did 2 nest videos. One was about Boddy Lake in Streamwood. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, in the past I've done several videos on the Charmander nest there, and this is the busiest nest in terms of people collaborating to find Pokemon that I've ever seen to date after 8 weeks. And the cool thing is with last week's spawn changes, in addition to Charmander spawning there, there's also Mankeys there. And in fact, the entire forest preserve north, east, and west of Boddy Lake is pretty much full of Mankeys now, which I don't remember there being a lot of reports of anything before that. People think that it was a Psyduck nest and is now a Mankey nest. But in any case, I had a video on Boddy Lake. I mean, now it is a double nest, Mankey and Charmander. Plus, you have the water Pokemon spawning by the lake and by the Pokestop. It is just probably the best place in the suburbs to get Pokemon. The other report that I did was a nest that I've actually been watching since like the second or third week of Pokemon Go. And people keep reporting that in St. Charles, Illinois, Wheeler Park, that it is a Rhyhorn nest. And I had checked it out a long time ago. I didn't find any sign of Rhyhorns, so I thought maybe it was a misreport. And then it kind of went silent during the first nest migration, and now after the second nest migration, Rhyhorns are definitely back in that park. I went there and I caught all my Rhyhorns and got my Rhydon in like an hour, something like that. So you can check out the video. It's a very cool nest. A very cool park with lots of stuff to do while you're not catching Pokemon as well. Tennis courts, baseball diamonds, a play park, a miniature golf course, and a huge disc golf course there. All right, so also I want to point out a website that has been around a little while, but it's definitely gaining in popularity. It's PokemonGoHub.net. And it is primarily to date, it's articles that they pull out of Reddit and other places. But if you want to kind of keep up with the most important research or events in Pokemon Go, they do a really nice job of presenting that. So check out Pokemon Go Hub. I'm also going to give another plug to the Silph Road, which I kind of demonstrated last week, but they did come out with their upgraded nest functionality. And I will tell you that it works really well. It's community-based reports, so people report in what they have cited in terms of Pokemon or nests, and once those get enough upvotes or downvotes, they appear on the map. And it is a very good resource. It has actually helped me plan out an upcoming Pokemon trip this weekend. Now, because I am nearing the 60-day mark in terms of Pokemon Go, I'm going to be releasing my report evaluating Pokemon Go as a Pokemon video game against 10 key principles of Pokemon. So that 60-day report should be out fairly soon following this. If you want to go take a look at what was in my 30-day report, I have a video on that. It was a little bit long. This one will be shorter, but I also outline kind of my recommended improvements and the sequence that I feel like Niantic should consider those in. All right, so this week I have spent a lot of time driving through the Otter Creek shopping center parking lot. I had to go there for some postage, and I had to go there for the office supply store for some school supplies. I had to go there today for the bank because my dog chewed up my debit card. Long story. So anyway, I've been in and out of that parking lot several times, and every time I go there, it is a known Clefairy nest. You can see that video on this channel. But every time I go there, there's something else spawning that's really cool. So early this week, when I had to go to the post office for stamps, I came out of the post office, and on the radar was a Dragonite. Not a Dragonair, not a Dratini, but the fully evolved form. So catching that little guy, he's a cute, very low CP. However, I was able to check him off the Pokedex without needing to catch 100 candies worth of Dratinis. That was awesome. Also during this week, I saw Gravelers there, which is the evolved form of Golem. So now I've got, I think, 3 Gravelers. And today, I was planning to drive about 45 minutes north to a Ponyta nest because I just needed a few more Ponytas to get a Rapidash. And when I went to the bank to get my new debit card ordered, right there in front of the bank was a ponyta. And after catching this one, I only need one more. And so I felt, well, it's probably not worth me driving all the way up to a nest for one. I'm just going to leave it up to fate to get one in the next week or two. Also in this same parking lot, there is a Target store. And in fact, multiple Targets in my area have been painting the red cement balls in front of their buildings to look like Pokeballs. I think it's an amazing cross-promotional gimmick, but it just made me very excited. Another thing I ran across this week while I was hunting Rhyhorns in Wheeler Park, I noticed that the mini golf course, or disc golf course, which is like in other words, like a frisbee golf, if you're not familiar with it, a lot of the benches in the park had these circles drawn on them with various sayings and things in the middle of them. And the first one I came across was a decharging station. And at first I didn't know what this was. I thought this was like a joke for people going there playing Pokemon Go. And then I did a little bit more research, and it's apparently some sort of disc golf meme that is, I guess, sweeping the country. People drawing a circle on a park bench and then putting something humorous in the middle about charging your disc for golf, or decharging it, kind of giving it good luck. I've been using a spreadsheet, so now that I'm getting down to fewer and fewer Pokemon that I need, I've been using a spreadsheet to kind of calculate how frequently am I catching each type of Pokemon, and do I know where a nest is? And based on that, how long do I think it's going to take before I get the highest evolved form of that Pokemon? So this is just something I like to do. I'm kind of a data geek, but it's also been very helpful to me to sort of prioritize which nests and which Pokemon I go after. Hopefully you can kind of follow it as I talk about it here in this video. But if you look at the top row, which is the Gyarados row, so I'm trying to get a Gyarados. I currently have 395 candy out of 400 that I need. That means I only need 5 more candy. So if I go to a nest where I'm catching 2 per hour, basically it should take me about 0.625 hours at a nest to get the remaining Magikarps I need for Gyarados. And then the next set of columns, so that's in green. And the next set of columns is saying if I don't go to a nest, I'm typically seeing about 2 per week. And if I just don't go to a nest, but just catch them randomly throughout my normal day, it'll take me about 0.625 weeks to catch enough Magikarps to get a Gyarados. And the third set of columns is the egg tier. So if I rely on 2K eggs, it's probably going based on the random percent of a Magikarp being in a 2K egg and how long it takes me to walk 2K off a 2K egg. It's going to take me about 5 weeks to get a Gyarados using that method. So obviously the Gyarados Magikarp catching is going to be focused for me on a nest. Now, same thing if I jump down to the first row that has some red in it. That's my Venusaur. So I currently have 27 candy, which means out of 100, I need 73 more. And if I were to find a Bulbasaur nest and I get 8 candy per hour or 2 Bulbasaurs per hour, it's going to take me 9.125 hours at a nest to get a Venusaur. Now, I think I've underestimated it a bit, meaning I think I can catch more than 2 per hour. But I'm just using that sort of, as a worst case number. Now, I've been seeing about 1 Bulbasaur per week out in the wild, not counting any nests. So if I were to just rely on that, it would take me 18.25 weeks to get a Venusaur, which to me is a long time. And again, if I rely on 2K eggs, in order to get enough Bulbasaurs out of 2K eggs with the random chance of getting a Bulbasaur, it's going to take me about 73 weeks. So obviously using 2K eggs is not my best method for getting a Bulbasaur, a Venusaur. So this is what I'm using, and then down at the bottom, you can see a bunch of Pokemon that I do not believe have nests. So things like Hitmonlees, Chansey, Lapras, Aerodactyl, and we know that Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, and Mr. Mime are not even available randomly in the US, and so those I have to rely on eggs. And if my math is right, I think I could be getting all 7 of these Pokemon from eggs after a year. Now, and by a year, I mean a year of continuously hatching 10K eggs, of which I have not seen very many 10K eggs. In fact, in the last 3 weeks, I don't think I've gotten any 10K eggs, and I have seen reports that 10K eggs are more rare. So my numbers here are probably a bit off. But anyway, this is my kind of forecast that I've been playing around with. All right. As far as my progress, I am still at level 24. This week, I have done a tiny bit of Caterpie, Pidgey, Weedle catching, mostly out of boredom, not trying to power level. Although I am slightly interested in trying to get a better CP Butterfree, and I did get a better CP Pidgeot and Pidgeotto, so that was partly why I was catching those Pokemon. But still level 24. I don't really anticipate being level 25 for another 3 weeks or so at this rate. But my Pokedex is pretty rapidly filling up. I am now at 121 caught out of 142, and I've seen 122. So that Onix that I caught at the Onyx Nest, that got the Onix off my watch list. Super excited about that. So the 2 Pokemon that I still have not gotten any of the base or evolved forms are Ammonite and Diglett. So those are going to be the highest priorities on my watch list for the next couple weeks. This coming weekend, I actually do have a plan to visit 3 nests and hopefully fill in 3 more spots on my Pokedex, but we'll see. So if I can get to 124 by the end of this weekend, then that would be awesome. In terms of badges, my jogger badge, I'm up to 377 kilometers, which is actually a slight dip for me. It's down to 4.18 miles per day, and I think that's just because I ended up driving more this week and less walking around at nests. We did have 1 or 2 rainy days where I wasn't able to really go for a walk or take the dog for a walk. But I'm going to try to make up for this and get this back up to 4.3 miles per day. And my breeder badge, I have now hatched 124 eggs. So that's 7 eggs higher than last week. So it seems like I'm right now on average hatching about 7 to 8 eggs per week, or 1 per day, which feels pretty good to me considering how much I'm walking. And then my backpacker badge, I finally hit 2,000. So this one will come off my list. As of making this video, I'm at 2,045 Pokestops. Since I'm taking the backpacker badge off of this report, I'm going to add probably the collector badge, which my next goal there is 2,000 Pokemon caught, and I'm at 1,771. It's about 31.6 Pokemon per day that I've either caught or hatched. As far as the highest CP Pokemon, no change. I'm still rocking a 1503 Vaporeon. It has not been powered up at all. That's just its raw catch. And nothing else yet has really gotten to that level. But I have balanced out. Last week I had an abundance of water Pokemon in the top 15. And by upgrading my Pidgey, or my highest level Pidgeot, and by catching my all the Rhyhorn, I was able to evolve a Rhydon. And so now I feel like it's a better mix of Pokemon and not all water Pokemon in the top. Also, there's one of my Clefable from the Clefairy Nest is up there, so that's good. As far as my evolution milestones and evolution candy, I was able to cross the Primeape off the list. So I got enough Mankey candy at Boddy Lake. My Magikarp candy is up to 395. That's 14 more than last week, which means I only need 2 more Magikarp to get my Gyarados. Been waiting for that a long time. I am at 47 out of 50 Ponyta candy, which is 8 more than last week. So I caught 2 Ponyta this week. Only need 1 more of those to get my Rapidash. No change in my Growlithe candy. That is the next closest Pokemon that I have to evolving. I'm at 31 out of 50 Growlithe candy. I did catch a coughing, so I'm now also at 31 out of 50 wheezing candy. So we're going to start tracking that on this vlog. And then I've actually caught, I think, like 4 or 5 Abra this week, which was higher than normal. And I am all the way up to 58 out of 100 candy to get my Alakazam. All right, so last but not least, I have some shout outs. First is to Oswin Rose, who is cranking through the levels and rapidly catching up to me in terms of Pokedex. We're going to be going hunting together this weekend in and around our suburbs, so expect some more nest videos on that next week. I also want to give a shout out to Meggy82461. This person drove 3 hours with her family from Peoria, Illinois to Boddy Lake just to catch Charmanders, and I guess made their young son ecstatically happy, so that's awesome. Also, shout out to Twitter fan Julie DDD, who used my videos to find Kabuto Nest at Randall Oaks and was able to get 8 Kabuto, which is another awesome find. And I have been made aware of some folks at my son's school who are enjoying my Pokemon research and also went to Boddy Lake. But I think I'll be talking about them in an upcoming episode. So this one's gone quite long. Thanks for bearing with me, and good luck in your go hunting.